Marshall, until I put your names on this part, okay? Put it over that table as well. Yeah, you can put it.
Okay, Mr. Zactora. I need to speak to you to follow up with the incident you called to the Justice Center regarding your conversation with Dr. Mellenbaugh.
Okay.
Okay, so can you just tell me about the conversation, what happened?
I was called because Mrs. Dawn Graham, the one that she's present right here, that she told me to call her for regarding me to speak about medication for my daughter. And I called her many times. I wasn't even able to reach her the first times. But the second time in the last probably 2 weeks ago, or the 13, on the 11 or 12, something like that, in that week, I was called her and I was spoken over the phone, and she told me that my daughter, she was having something that was happening here, but there was Miss Dawn Graham, she was on my visitation, that was told me that my daughter, she was doing something in here, and I didn't get anything from that day before. So when I spoke with Mrs. Dr. Mallenbaugh, she told me over the phone that the mother, she was having something, she was do something with another girl in the room, the roommate or something, I don't know how to call it. And I said, why did nobody told me anything? So they told me the mother, she was trying to suffocate one of the girls in the room. And I said, are you trying to tell me the mother, she wanted to try to kill a girl or something? He said, and Dr. Mallenbaugh, she said, with reaction, very aggressive with me over the phone. And she said, no, she's not going to be killing anybody. But she told me at the end, she told me, if you want to be pissing me off, so I want to be destroy your family, so I want to be hurt your family. I said, why are you still using that words that I want to be pissing you off? So what type of words psychiatry doctor over the phone talked to me like that way? Instead to talk to me in the good way, what's exactly what's going on? And I asked you if she was being present on the day or the time that was happening that incident. And she told me that she wasn't even in the room seeing anything like that. So I asked her what time it was the accident that was happening. They just make it at different times. They don't even tell me exactly what time it was happening. But at the end, she told me that probably it was happening at middle of night. And I said, who was the person that was supervising my daughter at that time, saying all this and telling me that you're gonna be destroying my family if I'm pissing you off? I'm not even pissing anybody off.
Did she say how she was going to destroy your family? She
said she's going to hurt my family, but I told her, what is exactly that you're trying to tell me? So no, she doesn't tell me how, but she told me that she's going to destroy my family and my daughter because I'm not still accepting whatever is happening here. I said, if you was not there and nobody wants to tell me who was the person that was supervising my daughter at that time, and Miss Dawn Graham, she wasn't even telling me nothing. Why this doctor, psychiatry doctor, over the phone telling me that she's going to destroy my family, me and my kids? So I would like to know why she was using those terms for telling me that she's going to destroy my family, including my daughter, because she's here.
So did you get a chance to speak to the doctor at Four Winds?
I spoke with them and I'm asking what was the reason they was sending my daughter to the Four Winds and what time they was being sending my daughter. They told me it was arriving at 10 o'clock p.m. I asked him what was the reason they was being dropping her over there, and they told me that they don't tell me a reason, but after that there was one of the doctors, I think so, Lorraine Gasparin. She told me that Mrs. Teresa, the CPS, they was telling them if my daughter there was being sexual abuse. So that is something new that was coming up on that day too. So that's making me feel more worried for the situation they're still coming to telling me. And I asked you who was the person that was dropping my daughter in there, if what was the reason. So they started telling me there was that Mrs. Teresa McCulkley or something like that. I don't know exactly the last name, but they say to Mrs. Teresa from the CPS to Mrs. Lory Gasparini saying that my daughter she was being sexual abused. So I still coming with many other things that I have no idea where all this came from. There was a psychiatrist telling me that she wanted to destroy my family. Then they come in all this, the sexual abuse. Miss Dawn Graham, she was telling me in here, in this room, in front of my son, a little while ago, the CPS and the report, because it's a report and CPS report, they say in the mother she was being sexual abuse. So I tried to look for many ways who was still creating another false allegation. So if it was really happening, I would like to know what exactly was they doing this to my daughter. So that's why I called the Justice Center for submit all this, because I'm not agreed that somebody still bringing me more false allegations, removing my daughter for more false allegations. This is hurts me a lot, and it hurts me when the son of psychiatry telling me they want to destroy my family. So that's what I submit this complaint in there.
Okay. Can we? I'm adding everything you tell me. I'm adding it to the report to submit to the Justice Center. So that's why I wanted to speak to you directly to get your version of what happened, when it happened, who you spoke to. Do you remember around what time you spoke to Dr.?
It was around 2, maybe up to 2 or 3 or. It was in the morning. It was not too late, not too early. It was maybe a noon or to 1 or 2. I had to be checking my phone. It was everything is on my phone. The time that I was spoken with, and I still writing everything that I don't have in my book with me. But every phone call that I made, including I still writing everything. What time this is happening. And I check my phone, what time that it was, the phone call is coming.
Okay. Can you give me copies of that?
Sure, I will do with them.
Okay, can we talk about the medication for a minute?
From the medication, this is another concern because they was telling me if I don't give you the medication, it was happening in the Four Winds on Friday the 13th. They told me before on Friday that Mrs. Lory Gasparini and Mrs. Danielle and another doctor in there, they told me that my daughter, she needs the medication for her behaviors and something like that. And I said, I would like to know what is the reason that they want to be still putting that medication, because I don't know exactly what is the reason. First of all, the reason they was dropping my daughter there. And second one, they told me if I don't give in the medication, they want to be calling the CPS and they want to be sending me to the court.
Who was the one that told you that?
The Mrs. Lory Gasparini and Danielle.
Do you know Danielle's last name?
No.
Do you know what she was? She worked for Four Winds. Was she?
Does she say she's the director of medicine or the medicine person that's prescribing that kind of medication?
So in the beginning, did you refuse to give them consent to the medication?
Yes, I did, because I want to know what was the reason for still sending my daughter for these two different information that was from here, from saying there was an accident, there was my daughter, she was looking by the girl, and then saying over there because there was being sexual abuse. So there's many things from everywhere that still bringing me information that it doesn't match for me. So that's what I was refused. So I want to know what is the reason for still doing something like that, for telling me that I had to be given medication.
Okay, but then you consented to medication?
There was the CPS and Ms. Dawn Graham and Michele, another person from here, from the staff. They told me if I don't give you the medication to my daughter, they want to be sending me to the court. And not just only that, they was in front of my daughter, they was telling me, making me guilty and saying that if I don't give you the medication to my daughter, she will be having a problems on the future. And I asking many questions, and they are saying that I'm very negative for not accepting the medication for my daughter. So in front of my daughter, they're making her feel sad and upset for that, and they're telling me that my words and my questions, that was making my daughter, I make my daughter feel upset. I say for asking questions, is my legal rights is to asking questions for what is the medication, what is the side effects, and what if they have any second side effects, and how long is going to be take this medication. And for that, they're making me feel like I'm very negative with my questions. I say that is not negative. It's questions that I want to know what's going to be caused to my daughter if it's anything's happened to her.
Okay, do you remember how much medication you consented to?
2 milligrams. And I told them they told me they want to start in little by little, and I said this is what I want. I want to do it step by step, and then saying they want to start increasing the medication. If I don't accept it until the 30 milligrams, they want to be starting putting me again to go back to the court against me for not accepting the medication. I said I'm not gonna be accepted. You have to stay with 2 milligrams first, little by little, and after that, when they was discharging my daughter on Friday the 13th. Passing 4 days, and I come into my visitation last week, Mrs. Dawn Graham and Mrs. Michele in front of my son, they was telling me that they want to be increasing the medication for 2 milligrams to 5 milligrams. So they still forcing me to do that, and I was not even accepted that because I said it's got to be still little by little to see how my daughter is going to be reacting. So they told me if I don't sign the paper, they want to be still doing against me and sending me to the court too for not accepting the medication for my daughter. And I told her very clear that I want to do this little by little, not to increase in 4 days after they was be discharging her for 2 milligrams. And right now she's in 5 milligrams.
So there's also something about her diagnosis.
That's the other thing that I'm very concerned about that because they're still telling me that my daughter, she's an autistic and in this place is with a severe autism. So I'm very clear with Mrs. Dawn Graham that I told her I want to know exactly what is the diagnosis for my daughter, and they're still putting me that my daughter, she have a lot of multiple disabilities. And that's the thing that I'm not very clear because one place they told me that she is not an autistic, and right here they're telling me that she's autistic, and she's learning a lot of the severe autistic kids in here. So that's the other problem that I do have here because they've taken my daughter away from me and placing her in here, and they're treating her like she have a very severe autism, and she's not a severe autism. And I asked him what is exactly the level of my daughter that she's an autistic, and they told me I don't remember exactly, but it's a level very like a mild level. I don't remember something like that, but there is no higher. It's like no lower. It's like a mild level. I think I don't remember the word.
So who told you that she was?
That was in Four Winds.
The doctor.
Yes.
So the doctor in Four Winds told you that she's mild autistic, but you're saying someone here at Ferncliff told you different. What did someone at Ferncliff
they're telling me that she have a lot of problems on her body for her behaviors, for no controlling her body, something like that, and she's not even talk. That she's walking with problems. I said. What they're telling me that she have not learning in the school. I say that means many things that she doesn't learn in here because she's copied the other kids.
Okay, so that's when you call back the Justice Center and you told them again about the medication, and you said that
they was forcing me to last week there was on here on the Tuesday I was called to tell them that it was Mrs. Dawn Graham and Mrs. Michele to tell me if I don't sign the paper for increasing the medication for 2 milligrams to 5 milligrams, they want to be still sending me to the court for still against me for not doing accepting the medication and accepting what is my daughter's condition. So that's why I called and I told them I signed the paper but I wasn't not even agree with that, because from the way they was telling me they want to be hurt my daughter and my family, so that's why I still know. They telling me that I'm not complying with all the services they're telling me to do that. I'm still complying every single week with everything, but they're still not complying with me for respecting my decision for everything.
So not complying with what the services DSS tell you that you have to do?
I comply with everything,
Okay.
but the DSS is not complying with me because I don't know who's the person is still working in my case from the DSS. I have no idea who's the person. Mrs. Dawn Graham, it doesn't tell me who's the person is working. It was Mrs. Cynthia Salas, but Miss Cynthia Salas from DSS, I don't know if it does the DSS or I don't know what department it is, but I have no idea who's my co-worker or the co-worker is working with me for helping me to navigate all this.
So let me ask you a question if I could. Did you speak to anybody at DSS regarding the medication and what would happen if you didn't?
That was one of the person. It was from the DSS. It was Mrs. Jennifer. It was in the Four Winds. That's the person that she told me that if I don't sign the paper, she's gonna be sending me to the court.
So it wasn't Ferncliff that told you that, it was
It was in the DSS and Four Winds, Mrs. Dawn Graham and Mrs. Michele, and the DSS. It was there. Yes.
So I think I got everything that was there something that you reported to the Justice Center that we didn't discuss right now? I think I asked you every...
No, that is another thing that is still, her clothes is not appropriate for my daughter. They're still giving a bigger shoes and it smell urine in there. And many times I told Mrs. Dawn Graham that my daughter, she had to be wearing an appropriate size horseshoes and appropriate clothes, including whether there is no getting cold or something. Right now she's wearing shoes that is no her size. And she have I found out my daughter right now that she have another bruise on her leg. And then nobody tells me anything about it. And also she's wearing, I believe that they're giving to her to wearing a pull-ups. And nobody tells me anything about it.
Did she had on
No, right now she doesn't have a pull-ups, but she have a marks that she's wearing a pull-ups because her skin is very, have it like a diaper rash. And she have a bruise on her right side, her leg. And I see the marks from like she wearing a pull-ups.
You see marks around her legs from like a pull-up?
Yeah, around.
Could the same thing occur from panties or?
No, it's totally different because I know the marks from pull-ups and marks from the panties.
And you saw those marks when?
Right now I saw that, and I saw that last week because when I checked her, I was see that, and I asked her if she. I asked her directly because I found the pull-ups on her backpack.
You found pull-ups on her backpack?
Yes.
Her clothing, the parents are responsible for providing the clothing?
Sometimes, because this is my bag for my daughter, I bring it with me because sometimes they don't provide me everything. If I don't have to ask them, they have to be provide me, including when my daughter she having her period. They're bringing her without path or her clean path, or she coming with all the period showing everything on her clothes, and that is very inappropriate and very disrespectful of my daughter. And when she doesn't feel good, they don't even asking her if she have any crumbs on her stomach. And when I found it, when I bring her to the bathroom, I found it that she was not even wearing a clean path or any path when she have her period. Many times I complain with Mrs. Dawn Graham about this situation. It's still like ignoring me. This is every single month they still passing out, including with the clothes. And I had to be bringing my bags. This is all my bags that I had to be bringing for giving to my daughter where she needs. Or even when she have any accident, I had to be change her and give it to my daughter everything that she needs. So they don't provide me here. I don't have to ask them. They have to be give it to me, or they're telling me your daughter she have her period. This is an extra clothes, even if you have it. They don't even telling me that. So at the end, sometimes they're telling me if you need something, just let us know. But I don't know if my daughter she have her period. When I come in, I just is what I found it, and I'm not agree with that situation. They still putting my daughter like breaking her rules and making her feel badly when she have her period, or when she feel a lot of pain in her stomach, and she's getting upset and angry, and they're telling me that, look at your daughter, she's getting angry, the situation is like that. So she's putting things, Mrs. Dangerhout, she told me, said, look at your daughter, she's dropping chairs and doing this. I make my daughter, she feel badly because she have a pain, and she doesn't wear her path when she have her period. That's a lot of issues from that time. All the single month is the same thing.
So what I'm going to do when I finish here, I'm going to go speak to DJ, residential director, and share your concerns about the clothing and stuff like that, and do a little bit of other follow-up as well. Today, you don't know if she has a period?
No, she comes in. No, I check her because I bring her to the bathroom and I check her body, and she doesn't have it her period today, because I know when does she have it. Sometimes she have it early, sometimes she have it at the end of the month. So it's totally different. But it doesn't matter, even if it's at the beginning of the month, they have to be provided to my daughter everything what she needs. Even if she have, when I'm here and I don't find that she doesn't wear her path or a clean path, that is what I'm making her feel, and not maybe an infection on her part, and I don't want to be like that way. So it's many things, and I'm very concerned for all the situation. Every time it's something. That's what I bring my. Is
it possible that she got her period during the visit, and that's why she didn't have a pad on, or?
Sometimes she doesn't have it. They told me that she dropped it on the garbage. Miss Dawn, she told me that they're giving to her, but she dropped it on the garbage. My daughter, she's not dropping the pad on the garbage. They have to be given to her and providing her and helping her, so that way she can get in everything for changing her clothes.
Okay. Thank you for speaking to me and giving me your concerns and your version of the conversations you have with Dr. Melville. And you'll hear from me at some point, but when this is concluded. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That is possible to can have the copy from my reports?
Copy of this?
For the reports that I made it, or?
No, I can't give you a copy of this report that you made, but
yeah, the one that I made it over the phone.
The one that you made, so you would have to ask them. If you send me something in writing, requesting, at some point I'll be able to give it to you, but not now.
Okay, how can I get the address for sending that? Or when, do you have any card or something so that way I can?
If I have one. My email address is there. Okay, at the bottom. Let me have one.
Okay.
that they are outside talking because I was submit a complaint. So I say the truth and I almost tell them that I have the video so that way they can see how she was, that Mrs. Malenburg, she was treating me over the phone saying that she was going to hurt my family.
In the bathroom. Thank you.
Go all the way in.
Bathroom. Come on.
I'll close it for you.
Where are my kids now?
You're outside waiting to go. Time to come in to help you pack it up.
I'm so sorry. I didn't see. Come on. Katie. Katie. I'm very aware of me. Oh, no, it's fine. Believe me. Oh, yeah. Where are they? Yeah. Oh, you want to play basketball like Leslie Hunt? Huh? You want to play basketball? You want to play basketball? Yeah? You want to play basketball? I know you're ready now, huh? Oh boy,
They were running around.
I would love to be playing outside.
Less than a minute.
What, you thirsty?
Yeah, we gotta go now. What do you got?
So you tell me if, but I think I'm right. So you looked at, where you want to.
No, I didn't. She just handed it to me as going out the door. They just did it.
Check the first two boxes, so one is check this one, and this one. This one is checked.
I don't know which one you want.
Okay. This one. And this, he doesn't have CC, thank God. There's a lot of other stuff.
Right.
Okay. So
This one.
apple, epilepsy, again, not checked the what. Oh, this
Get
is,
it back
okay,
here.
and then, shouldn't we both be elected also, so that if it's this, you have to.
Right finger.
Right, so one, check off that, so this needs to check, in my opinion.
Right.
Box to box is this, definitely this was the last time.
Was it checked off on the other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, neurological impairment, that's probably not. So I don't think that's it, but, so here, she checked off this, and then wrote here, now, that's right. I don't know if she was supposed to put anything here. So she doesn't have a picture on it. This doesn't make any sense, but it should be good. Yeah, so and everything else is right here, he doesn't have that. So,
I'll get you.
yeah, not the main. I'm just being devil,
Right. No, I'd rather have it done because I don't want to see you go back.
Right, because I have a feeling she would be like,
Alright, so let me finish that and then we'll go. Then I'll see. What are you making now? Bacon and... I got the picture, I gotta laminate it.
oh, no rush.
But I printed it, it's nice. He's on my list. So he'll get to it. He will. It's on the list. Was that the picture from Sunday?
No.
It's over.
I had it,
We got to go. Give it. We got to go. Katie, give it to the next week.
What's today?
We have to go. You hear me?
Is he out there?
Oh, no, we were on Sunday. Wendell was last night, and then he's with his uncle, and then James comes in.
You want to back for that?
Oh, the boy. She loves both of them.
So nicely on the side.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna send you the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, that was the picture from Sunday, right?
No.
With oh.
no, that was not. It didn't matter. But he,
That's good to hear. But didn't they say it was 9.5? I got an email from Carla that they said 9.5 USA. You didn't get that email?
I didn't see that, and the ones, those were the exact looking ones, the ones, so I didn't take them off.
All right, I gotta take a look.
Anyway, I'm like, those were the exact sneakers that I said to.
Then you said don't put them on, and then you're like, look what she's wearing.
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
oh, you gotta be kidding me.
anyway. Well, I shouldn't eat, I'm not eating anything. But it's from Atkins.
Did you have brisket?
We didn't do anything.
Oh.
It's like, we should, but you know, Andrew's working, I'm working.
Yeah, so did you have matzo ball soup?
Nothing. What did I have? I had leftover Greenfield pasta that evening. I mean, if I had a temple to go to, that I could afford,
Right.
maybe I will go, but I'm not going myself.
Yeah, that's true.
I used to go, find someone to go.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Michelle's mother was on the
She's here too?
Yeah. Right away, she comes in, Dawn, and I'm like, and so
Trying to get over there.
you know, saying where you were, and then she looks at me and she's like, there was a school. I'm like, yeah, there was. I know town.
Oh yeah, we're still got school even though the Jewish
But
holiday.
it's fine. I mean,
Well, she might be coming in here, Michelle, because I know she came to
but
visit
I
Daniel.
told DJ, I said, DJ, I have to leave by like 3:45.
Well, when I get over there, I'll make sure.
You know, bring them. Yeah, because on Monday, I have a doctor's appointment, but then maybe I could go over there.
Mm.
Even though I'm supposed to call, I guess I'll call Friday and ask if I can come Monday, because like Sunday they're not open. Or I can call Monday. Rheumatologist went on
So
Monday.
not feeling that great?
You want a back?
And I'm on.
Yay.
Money.
That's too much.
You got money too? Oh, you're rich now, girl. You're a billionaire girl. I do so too.
Oh, one last question. So I asked Kathy. I think it was her birthday. I sent the money for pizza for his car for his.
Oh, for a school party? What'd she say?
Oh, yeah, she said that's you I sent the money for cake too. Like whatever cake you got, I like.
I bring you the dollar from the dollar money from dollar, okay?
So.
All right, so I can
I mean, I'll
bring
give
it
you
over
how
to
much money.
Remember what
So
you got?
class. And,
So you tell me how many times you have.
teacher said, you know.
It's like 11 to sometimes
Tell
we
her
cut
about
it,
it.
yep, because we cut it double.
And how much is each, so like.
We go to slice.
Plus, yeah, whatever you want.
I'll get to the slice.
There you go.
To the slice.
Yeah, we want to get
I'll take 6.
5 girls.
That's more than enough. You might get changed. You ready, Freddie? I'll be back. I guess I'll be back with Michelle.
Okay.